Hello, I'm Andy, and this is going to be a long video. We're going over one of my favorite songs I've ever made called Bliss. It's really deep and wide, and I just love it. It makes me cry. It makes me feel love. Anyways, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. I also stream on YouTube, so it would be, nice if you watch those. If you subscribe, you can see those more easily, and it just works out. It's awesome. You can also check out my website at andyastro.com to buy my beats or contact me for a custom beat. But yeah, let's get into this. It's kind of a lot. It could be more complicated, it could be simpler, but this is what we got, and this is what we have to deal with. At like a normal zoom level, this is what it looks like. It looks so much worse right there. Plugins I use throughout this are Arcade, Serum, Omnisphere, Keyscape, and I also use a lot of sounds from Splice. We love Splice. Splice is awesome. Okay, and before we get into it, the key is F minor, I believe, and the BPM is 139. I don't know why it's not 140 or like an even number. That is actually kind of annoying. I've not noticed this, but yeah, it's 139. The idea for the song came when I was just playing with the piano and I found these few chords that I liked. And it just repeats. But of course, I did not want it to be piano. So I loaded up Arcade. I put the chords into here, and I chose this instrument called Dirty Brass. And this is where I realized what happiness is. So those chords are like the heart of the beat, and yeah, they kind of just repeat over like the drop of the beat, whatever that is. We also have Serum, which is just some random thing I made, I guess. It's the same chords. We then have the bass for the song, which I think is hot. I wish it could be a little different, but whatever. It's an arcade preset called Blackout from the bassline little tab, whatever it's called. Then we have this Omnisphere preset called CS80 Sine Bass. I use it a lot. I love it. It makes me happy. And there's automation with it too, because it's like the intro of the song, and I don't want there just to be blah right at the beginning. That's just not good. Just slowly gets louder, and it just follows the root notes. Slowly gets louder and just follows the root notes. Then we have Flex, which is a free plugin, and it's the Flutes Sustain preset. I'll play this with the bass. And of course, I have a ton of reverb on it. Because what is Andy Astro without Valhalla Vintage Verb? And we have this kind of weird instrument. Let's see what it is. It's Omnisphere Coiling Zimbra 2. And the main purpose of this was just to add like a weird instrument, add some atmosphere. And it just repeats basically. Also, in like the second half of the intro, we have this weird like distorted guitar type instrument. Let's see. It's called Backlash Edge. It sounds weird on its own, but it kind of makes sense in the piece. Okay, so let's listen to all of that. And the way this is played, it's like dum 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 dum, instead of just like ba ba. So these start coming in with volume automation. I'm so sorry I had to do that, but there's one more thing I have to show before we actually get into the drop. So this is a little ARP. Let's see. I don't know why I chose these notes. I don't know, but they're all in the key of F minor. It's another little preset I made that's very bad and simple. A ton of reverb, and it slowly pans from left to right, I believe. Yeah, and the volume goes up as well. And that mixed in with this just creates a good drop, I think. And right before the drop, this is one of my favorite parts of the song. There's a little do do do. And the plugin for that is Arcade and it's called Hooked and the octaves. Okay, so this is where we get into the drop. I'm gonna remove everything that we've talked about so far and just listen to it for a second. So for the drop, I'm going to tell you about the lead, then the drums, and then the effects, because I think that will make most sense. So right before the drop, we have this little serum preset. It's a little stupid one. Yeah, so try to pay attention to this. So it's not meant to be like anything crazy. It's kind of just meant to help support the drop, I guess. Kind of help build up into it and make it so the build up, like that drop, kind of like lasts a little bit. Also, before the drop, I have a splice sample. I don't know why I added it. It's just like people clapping or whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the main lead in the song. It's Serum. It's the A Bit of Luck lead preset, and I love it. It makes me so happy. I don't want the lead to be like super crazy rhythmically because there's a lot of stuff going on in the song. So if there's just like blah, 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 just everywhere, that would be just a mess to listen to. So we now have the drums. This is some Metro Boomin perk with reverb and a soft clipper. Another little snap. Okay, we then have this percussion. We also have this that goes right there. We also have this little riser that, you know, rises into the drop, and this helps it fade out a little bit. And this decrease of volume actually lets the da-da-da kind of like take place in the song. Okay, and then there's this freaking boom sample from Splice, which is it's kinda weird because it takes up some sub frequencies. Let's look at it here, which is not really good if you want it to also, be playing as the same time as a bass. But I tried to like sidechain it, and hopefully it worked out well. So I think that's it for the chorus, so I can show you that now. So I love that. I love the transition from like all this hype into like, ooh, it's spooky, or it's not really spooky, it's just like a lot of the energy has been taken out, but it's still like detailed and textured. So in this part, we have the bass that's carried over from the beginning. We have the little coiling Zimbra that was carried over from the beginning. We have the bass, or we have the boom right here. We're just going to listen to this instrument on its own. Let's see, it is Arcade, and the preset is Remembering. And then since there's nothing right there, I added another instrument right there. So I'll play it with the other one. And throughout all of here, there is this little guitar thing that's just going and it's slowly increasing in volume. Okay, and then for the second part, we have a piano, which kind of leads into this next part, which is like a total change from the song, but not in a bad way. This is what we're going to be looking at right now, and the next part is right here. Oh, this is a lot. Okay, so let's listen to all of that. And this is kind of weird. It goes into like this like stereotypical, I don't even know how you would call it. It's not one of my favorite styles, but I think it kind of works in this because of the change. So we're just gonna listen to the drums first. I'm actually gonna solo how I started them first. So I knew I wanted to be like a normal drum pattern, so I started with these for some reason. And then I decided to bring a weird shaker in, which is kind of, I think that's a little bit like unorthodox. And that just repeats. Then I have the kick. Then we have a snare. And then the hi-hat is kind of the most important in my eyes. And that repeats. So I have this weird keyscape part. Dun, dun, dun. So this is the build up to the drop, and the drop would be right here. But before we get into that, I have to tell you more about this. Also before the drums, there's a short riser and an impact sound. Also, the piano slowly like arpeggiates and raises in volume in the second part of this bad boy right here. Wow, this is so like weird to explain. I hope you're understanding this. It's something. Ay ay ay. Okay, so for the main instrument in this little trap piano part is this. It's arcade, moonshot lead, and taped. And the build up. So this drop is a little bit different than the first one because like right when the drop stops, there's like nothing and then there's something. So let me tell you what I mean. So we have that lead introduction to the drop, which is right here. But it's a little bit different, and there are no chords playing right here. We have the bass playing. There is like a lack of drums, and then this da, 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 or whatever that like leads into like the delayed drop. And a similar thing happens right there where the bass cuts out and it's meant for da-da-dum. There's a second part of the serum lead that I didn't show you that's only meant to be played for the second chorus, so we'll whip that out. Okay, and then it goes back into a different lead, which is actually the first one. I misspoke, but I'll show you that. So after or during this longer lead part, like after the drop, there's a lack of drums, just so you like fully are listening to the chords, the bass, and the lead. And then after that, it's kind of just the bass and chords, and then bass chords, and then the very end. I didn't want it to just be like a hard stop, and I didn't really know how to end it, so I added like a let me just show you. I added a low pass filter, just moving down slightly. And with this like fading out, everything kind of just falling in the reverb, and then a mix of this, I think it sounds good. Yeah, it kind of all just ends at the same time. Oh my god, that is one of the longest things I've recorded. We've been at this for about 40 minutes, which is really shorter than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like an hour and a half. Um, I could tell you more about automation, but uh, it's kind of hard to do that. Um, but I think I covered most of everything in the song. There's there's these two things right before the drop, but you can barely hear them, and it's not that important. But yeah, thank you for watching my tutorial on how I made Bliss. This is one of my favorite songs I've ever made. Hopefully I'll still like it within a few years. If you want to listen to it, you can listen to it on Spotify, and I might post it on YouTube, I might not. I would also really appreciate it if you checked out my website at andyastro.com to buy the beats that I have, or contact me for some custom beats. But I guess I have to end this video somehow, so yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and bye, don't die.